I went to work at 5 o'clock in the morning and I put on a Depends diaper and a baby bonnet and I had a rattle and that's all I wore, and for 3.5 hours I drank 2 pots of coffee, 2 gallons of apple juice, anything in liquid form that I could put into my body. Jeff and Mark, the guys on my morning show who I ended up working with on 94.5, they're like, all right, listen, you know, we want to add this element to the morning show. We want to have this guy named Danger Boy, and he's going to do stunts live on the air, and we're not even sure what stunts we're going to do. It's just kind of in the brainstorming phase right now. And the general manager said, well, who do you have in mind for this? And they were like, we really don't know. And then at that exact moment, somebody opened the door to the conference room, and I was out doing one of my grab my crotch, lighting your testicles on fire comedy routines for the whole people, you know, out by the copy machine, and everybody's just roaring, and I'm telling some story, and everybody's having fun with it. And they said, that's who's going to be Danger Boy, that guy right there. So they approached me a couple days later with the idea and the concept, and I had no desire to be on the radio. I hated the sound of my voice. I was not comfortable being in front of people, none of those things. But at the same time, I was eager to start to be involved in radio, and the more I'd been around the station, the more that I started to see, wow, this would be a really cool way to make a living. The other part of it is that when I did decide I wanted to be in radio, I wanted to be a morning show guy. I didn't just want to be a voice in a chair going, it's cloudy out today. That was Pink Floyd. Stay tuned. We got some Led Zeppelin coming up next after the commercial break. I didn't want to be that guy. You know, I love to talk and I love to entertain, and so morning show was the canvas that I needed. I wasn't just going to be a guy that talked 1 minute between breaks. I wanted to be someone that had something to say. I did over 70 stunts, and I'm almost 50 years old now, so I'm glad that we're sticking to a couple of them that I can actually remember. But Douse Danger Boy was a thing that we did, and it was tied into a client that we were working with, and they were at a laundromat. Basically, for 3 hours, I stood out inside of a laundromat in a baby pool, and I was at the actual location of the client, and on the air back at the radio station, they were inviting everybody to come out for 3 hours and dump whatever they wanted over my head. And I'm talking deer urine, there was massingale douches, there was kitty litter, there was bacon grease from people's restaurants, there were bags of flour, there were honey, motor oil. I can go on, and my therapist and I are still working our way through all of this, but it was just a really fun event, and I look back on it now and have fond memories. That particular day, it was not that great. I think I still smelled like deer urine and cat litter and honey and flour for about 3 weeks after that. But that was one that was a big hit. People really liked that one a lot. The concept for the telephone booth one, I was against it, but basically for 3 hours they sat on the air and talked about how, Danger Boy was going to be down on Monroe Street in downtown Toledo at one of those old-fashioned telephone booths, and they invited the listeners to bring their children's dirty diapers down. And so here I was in a telephone booth, and by the end of the thing I was filled up to my chin in dirty diapers, and then at the end of the actual promotion or Danger Boy stunt, I thought it was over, and then I walked out of the telephone booth, and unbeknownst to me, they had the fire department waiting there, and they sprayed me down with high pressure hoses. So yeah, it was pretty funny. You know, I look back on it now, and there's nothing I really regret about it. I think the one thing I'm proudest about was, and if any of my other fellow DJs hear this, though, they'll maybe not be happy with me, but the majority of people I worked with had incredibly strong egos. I didn't like the way they treated people. I didn't like the way they talked behind people's back. I didn't like the way that they weren't very approachable. I prided myself watching these other people who were the bigwigs in the industry when I started, and I think what I'm proudest about was I was still a cool, hip, happening cat. When I look back on it now, it was so fun. I think it helped me not be bitter or whatever it was after it all ended. It was just an incredible experience all the way around.